Today we're starting 1.2, slopes and intercepts. The definition of slope. It's the ratio of vertical rise to horizontal run. The abbreviation for slope is M. Don't ask me why, but the abbreviation is M. So when we're looking at a line that's been graphed, to find its slope, you need to pick any 2 points that are on this line. Doesn't matter what 2 points we pick, we should get the same slope, but you want to pick points that you're able to see easily. It looks like there's a point here and here. So when you do this, now you make a triangle. Rise and run. If you rise, which direction are you going? Up and down. How about if you run? Go left and right. So my rise, how many spaces are there? 3. 1, 2, 3. Count the boxes, not the lines. My run. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my rise is 3, my run is 4, my slope is 3/4. Let's see if I can find 2 more points. Looks like this one might be one, and I'll use this one here. No, that's not it. When you do look close enough, none of these really cross nicely ever again. So this is a bad example to show you multiple ones. This formula should look familiar from Algebra 1. Slope is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Those should be subs. Going back to our last problem. What's this coordinate right here? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 5. What's this coordinate here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's -4, comma, 2, because it goes up 2. Now, using that formula, m equals y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. You have x values and y values. Which ones are my x values? 0 and -4. Which one's my y values? 5 and 2. Notice I just called them x, y, x, y. We need to call one of them the 1s, one of them the 2s. Most people automatically just go the first ones are 1s, the second ones are your 2s. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show you in a minute. We can flip-flop. What's my first y value? That's a 5. Minus, what's my second y value? 2. What's my first x value? 0. Minus, what's my second x value? -4. Now, I put in parentheses. I know you automatically know that means negative is plus. So what's 5 minus 2? 3. What's 0 plus 4? 4. Still got the same slope, whether it be graphically or algebraically. Now I can take these two here When I flip these around, what's my first y value? Nope. My first y value is 2. The y's are always y's. The y's and the x's do not flip. It is always x comma y. What's the second y value? 5. What's the first x value? -4. What's the second x value? 0. What's 2 minus 5? -3. What's -4 minus 0? What's -3 over -4? Did it matter which way I went? No. The only thing that matters is if I go this way for the first one, I have to go this way for the second one. You can't flip-flop. Find the slope of the points in this line. M and N, they're just labels. The most important part of this problem is you're trying to find the slope of these 2 points. First thing I'm going to do is write down the formula. y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. The more you write something down, the more likely you are to remember it. What's my first, or what do you want to use as your first y value?
3.
-2 and 3 do not work. Why not? Why do -2 and 3 not work? They're x's, they're not y's. So, -6. So what does the other one have to be? -5. Because I went 6 minus 5, I have to go -2 minus 3. What's -6 and a -5? -11. What's a -2 and a -3? -5. My answer is 11/5. If I would have did it on the flip, it would have been 5 minus -6 over 3 minus -2. Well, that's a plus, 11 over 5, still get the same answer. This should be a review of Algebra 1. I want you to find the slope for this point. Should be finished. M equals, what's the formula? What can be my first y value? 4. Okay, so it's 4 minus -6. I know you're saying 4 plus 6, but I'm still showing you it's 4 minus -6, which does change to 4 plus 6. Over, what's your first x value? Can I put 5?
No.
Why not? Because I did 4, I have to do 2 minus 5. So what's 4 plus 6? -2 and -5. -7. The answer is -10/7.
No, it's not.
All right, I wrote the formula down. What's my first y, or what can be my first y value? 2. What can be my second one? What about my first y value, or x value? 12 minus 2. What's 2 minus 16? -14. What's 12 minus 2? 10. What can you tell me about -14 over 10? It can be simplified, and you get -7/5. Your answers must be simplified. What's one of my first x value or y values? 2. What's the other one? 2. What about the first one? First x is 3 minus -2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Negative negative makes a positive. 3 plus 2 is 5. What's 0 divided by 5? 0. What can you tell me about this problem? Why do I know it's going to be a 0? I shouldn't have to do any of this work. There's one thing in this problem I can automatically see, so I don't have to do any work. They have the same y values. When you have identical y values, their slope is automatically 0. Now, just graphing them. 3, 2. There's 3, 2. Actually, that's 3, 2. And negative 2, 2. If I were to draw a line through there, what type of line is that? The horizontal line is when the slope is equal to 0. The y values are the same. So if you ever see that the y values are identical, you don't need to do any work to answer the slope is 0. What happens when the x values are the same? Well, if I take my y values, negative 4 minus 5. Negative 3 minus negative 3. Negative 4 and negative 5 is negative 9. That becomes a positive. Negative 3, positive 3, 0. Anything divided by 0 is undefined. You can put UND. Then it is marked incorrect. If you put 0, it is marked incorrect. Something divided by 0 does not exist. When we're talking about slope, if something has no slope, what does it mean then? It's a straight line, it never goes up or down. Like right now, this room should have a slope of 0. You walk uphill, it has a positive slope. You walk downhill, it has a negative slope. An undefined slope doesn't exist. Think of an example of this. Where would be an example where you have no slope, or it's an undefined slope? Let's plot the points. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I walk this slope?
Yeah.
You could?
No.
Could you walk across this slope right here?
No.
You could walk straight across, right? All right. How about this one?
Yeah, walk that. Walk it down. You cannot walk down there. Just keep straight. You're gonna fall. You can't walk down. Climb it, but you cannot walk down.
You're falling. This is like a cliff. You can't walk an undefined slope. Anything that has an undefined slope is a vertical line. Slope intercept form, someone already mentioned, is y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, x is x, y is y. What is b?
It's that you add it on. It's like, isn't it like on the y-axis or whatever? It's like you plus 5, you already go up 5 and start.
I like the y part. It is your y-intercept. That is why it's called the slope intercept form. You have the slope and you have the y-intercept. Now graphing with slope intercepts. 2 is my slope. My y-intercept is -5. When graphing from slope-intercept form, we start with our slope-intercept and work with there. So I have -5. That means I go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From your origin, you move down 5. You always start from dead center. This is where people make mistakes. For your slope, you go from that point. But slope is always rise over run. It needs to be a fraction. How can 2 be written as a fraction? 2 over 1. So I need to rise 2, run 1 from this point. I'm going to go from this point, rise up 2 spots, run over 1. That is where I put my second point. Once you have both points, yes. What's that? Slope is always a fraction. If it's not, it's over 1. I'm going to take and draw a line through there, and I'm going to label y equals 2x minus 5. It's important that you label your lines. Throughout the year, we're going to do multiple graphs at once, and you have to be able to distinguish which one's which. Questions?